Sushi Shop Simulator, a relaxing restaurant simulator where you serve customers through a dying restaurant in a subway for some reason. It's too bad that the game has less customization than your normal Roblox avatar, and the cool cosmetics are really grindy to get, and the game doesn't get updates anymore, so, Zach's Service Station. A store management game where you serve customers through a dying gas station in the middle of a city for some reason. It's too bad that the game has way too many hats to keep track of, and some of them are just, what is this? And the game is so easy that the only thing keeping me from rebirthing is the timer to stop me from spamming it, and the game doesn't get updates anymore, so, Sushi Gambit. The predecessor of both games I mentioned, until a fourth game comes along, but I don't want to do that bit for a fourth time. Sushi Gambit is a restaurant simulator where, you guessed it, you serve customers through a dying restaurant. Except it's in a practical place this time. There is a good amount of customization without it being too overwhelming, and the game is just a little bit grindy, but not by too much. Best of all, it's still receiving updates, and the developer is super active in the Discord server. Because of all that, it only makes sense for me to cover all of the tips, tricks, and badges of Sushi Gambit. First, why is the game called Sushi Gambit? At the start of every day, you and your coworkers will be able to select between 2 upgrades or abilities that will help you later on. I won't be covering these upgrades too in depth, as the main strategy is to never pick abilities unless you have to, since they only help you for one day. The upgrades, on the other hand, can range from simple stat buffs to allowing you to make crazy drink combos, which can help you a ton, which I will talk about more later. But what are the main mechanics of Sushi Gambit? Cooking, harvesting, cleaning, and serving. When cooking, you prepare sushi for your customers by playing this little line minigame. The line will get faster as your combo increases. However, your combo will reset if you miss the bar, or will go down by half if you stop cooking or change recipes. You can get more XP and money from higher level sushi dishes. When cooking sushi, you'll use up ingredients. Most of these ingredients can be bought on the computer,
but you'll need to get the meat through a different means.
Killing people. You're able to kill people between the hours of 10 PM and 5 AM through 3 different ways. Using your knife will harvest meat based on your cooking level. It uses up a lot of energy though, so if you have a somewhat low cooking level, I would instead recommend the chloroform spray. This allows you to kill people with a moderate amount of energy, as long as you don't fail the button mashing minigame that comes along with it. The last weapon you can use is the axe. It gives a low amount of meat, but it uses a low amount of energy and has a fast cooldown. The only downside is that you'll get bloodstains on your clothes if you aren't wearing a rain jacket. You can clean off your bloodstains at the surgeon, but it will cost you $1 per stain. Back to the more conventional tasks. If you pick up a sponge, you'll be able to clean dishes and windows. Cleaning dishes comes in the form of another button mashing minigame, but all you have to do to wash windows is click and drag. You can also wash stains on the floor by using the mop in the kitchen. The main reason to clean up the store is to improve your review score whenever a critic eats at your restaurant. You can also use the trash bag to clean up any spoiled sushi on the conveyor, but that doesn't usually matter much. One of the more recently expanded jobs is serving. Serving includes seating customers, serving them sushi manually for more tips and time efficiency, and serving drinks for small bonuses. Serving customers food and drinks are not required, as the clients automatically pick up sushi from the conveyor, and the drinks only give small buffs. Because of that, this job takes less priority than cooking or cleaning dishes. Apart from the jobs, there are also hats and clothing you can buy which can give some buffs. Some of the hats are just cosmetic though. You can also gamble! Yes, I love gambling! Ah! Once you have the required levels, and if you have enough money saved up from not gambling, you can retire at the bank. This will reset your levels and money, but you'll get to keep your hats and all of your knives from gambling. You can also go to the surgeon to clean up any bloodstains you have, as I mentioned before, or you can change your motto and profession, as well as change how your face looks. You can also change how your hair looks at the barbershop. I know I said this game wasn't overwhelming, but just because I spent a few minutes covering all the basics doesn't mean that it isn't. Most of your gameplay will be spent standing in one place, cooking or cleaning dishes. So don't worry if it felt like a lot of information all at once, because it definitely was. If you were confused by anything I said, there are also tutorials in-game which help you out with all of the mechanics. Now let's start with the tips. The best way to get tips is by cooking. When you reach higher levels of cooking, you'll be able to cook dishes that give more money when they are eaten. If you pair this with some of the hats and abilities, you can make a ton of money by cooking a ton of sushi. Just make sure that you have enough customers to eat the sushi, or else you won't get any money for cooking so much. Now let's start with the actual tips and tricks. If your restaurant is struggling financially and you're low on ingredients, buy more ingredients before 10 p.m. so that the money you made during the day doesn't get taken away when you have to pay rent. If you have some leftover money but want to retire, you can spend some money gambling so that it doesn't go to waste. If you get a duplicate knife, then that's cool, but if you do get a duplicate knife, then you can sell it after you retire for a little starting cash. Retiring might seem like it has lackluster benefits, only being small stat increases, but you can actually get another hat equip slot for retires 3, 6, and 10, which are extremely worth it. If you have enough people in your server where everyone is comfortably doing their jobs, you can start serving customers manually, which gives bonus tips from the customers and can allow you to serve the clients near the end of the conveyor so that they don't leave due to lack of patience. When serving drinks, you can combine different flavors to get even bigger buffs. The best combos are Dance Swap, which is great for money because each client returns once they leave. Slate Rejuvenation, which is good for when you have a ton of spoiled sushi on the conveyor but don't feel like cleaning it up. And Shadow Mist or the Devil's Galley for critics for a higher review. Keep in mind that you need at least 2 different flavors from the soda fountain to make a combo drink, so you'll need to upgrade it a lot before you can attempt these. When a critic comes into the restaurant, shown by having a star above their head, manually seat them at the beginning of the conveyor so that they'll always have a sushi plate, and will lose patience slower. Alternatively, if your server decides to manually serve clients, you can have someone constantly serve the critic so that they don't lose any patience at all. Occasionally, a health inspector will come into the restaurant once you close. This usually only happens in the early game. Just treat them like a normal critic, except you should sell all of your meat as soon as possible so that you don't get any contraband warnings. If someone is harvesting but you see that you're full on meat, then you can sell some for extra money. Just make sure that the person harvesting has enough time to get enough meat before the next day starts. It will always be more profitable to sell meat in the form of sushi rather than on the market, so you don't want to sell too much. Finally, the badges. Most of the badges are pretty easy to get, but the game doesn't tell you how to get them, so I'll cover each one briefly. Welcome to the Concrete Jungle. Complete the tutorial. You're going surfing on the internet. Interact with a computer. Jailbird. Get arrested 10 times. You probably shouldn't do this in a public server, but whatever. Superiority Complex. Become the manager during your gameplay. This will happen naturally if you stay in the same server for a long time. Free Fallen. Get hit by a police car whenever you or someone else gets caught harvesting. You can do this while getting the Jailbird achievement, and the easiest way to do it is to murder someone right next to the street and then walk into the road once the police car spawns. My Echo, my Shadow, and me have 2 other friends in the same server as you, which is the only badge I don't have. Day Trader. Sell an ingredient on the computer. A new you. Change your avatar. This can be done at the Surgeon. Revered Restaurant. Get a high critic score, which is in the around 200 to 250 range. Couch Potato. Sit down for 30 minutes in real life. This is tracked across servers, so you don't need to do this all in one sitting. Penny Pincher. Use a coupon. This can be done at the barber shop. Window Shopper. Stay in the shop menu for a few minutes. Caffeine Fiend. This is another one that you shouldn't do in a public server because you need to drink a total of 100 cans of coffee. That's equal to $200 in company funds. This also is tracked between servers, so again, you don't need to do this in one sitting. Savvy Saver, Money Mogul, and Bully and Boss can all be done naturally once you just get a ton of money. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul! Ah! Try getting a reservation at
Sushi Gambit.
now, you
Freaking
stupid!
noob.
Kill an NPC with the hatchet while wearing the raincoat suit. Good evening, 47. Kill an NPC with the knife. Nap time. Kill 10 NPCs with the chloroform spray. This also saves between servers. The rest of the badges are all just staying a certain amount of days in a server. To get these, just hope that you get lucky with the people in your server, and also hope that they don't leave halfway through. That's basically everything Sushi Gambit has to offer. Now you just need to do it all yourself. If you want help with anything, or if you want to find people to play with, you can join the Sushi Gambit Discord server, which I'll put in the description because the community is really cool. Hopefully this video was helpful, or at least entertaining. I'll see you later.